Today is Stewardship Sunday, and I know straight away what's going through your heads. It's ka-chung time. He's going to talk about money, and we're going to listen to the woes and the tales of how bad our parish is. Well, I'm afraid that's probably partly true. 2 weeks ago, I gave you a summary of our expenses for the quarter. The amount of money that we took in for that quarter did not fulfill the needs of our expenses. We're about $2,000 short in that quarter. That is a problem, I would think. But it's also something we have to live with. And that's why we have our festivals and our fish fries to help us out. But it's not really about those particular projects or those particular things and monies that we have to work about. Yes, it has to be there. We have to think about it. It's like any organization. It doesn't run on fresh air. Even the disciples, when they started, they clubbed together to put their monies in so they could live together in a community. We see that in the Acts of the Apostles. We also see it in Paul, as he talks about the community coming together to support their faith. As you can see here, we have a little demo, the schematic drawings of what we're going to try to do here. It's not just about this project either, by the way. Yes, this is a nice project and something we have to do. But I'm not really going to talk about monies today, because you all know the story. You all know what we're looking for. You've heard me say it before. I'm going to talk about the future, the idea of what it is that we're trying to do here. What is stewardship? What does it entail? Is it about money, or is it about providing something for the future? Actually, it is the latter. It is about providing something for the future, for the next generation to come on behind you. We are the stewards of what we have now, so that the future of those who come behind us, the generation behind us, will have something that they have a legacy from. That's stewardship. It's not about monies in the greater sense, but it's about something greater than that. Our spiritual understanding of life is something we have to leave to the next generation. Yes, the building is needed. Yes, the projects are needed, but they are only the surface of what it is we need. The health and well-being of our parish is not about how quick or how easy it is to build something, or how easy it is to put new windows in, or how easy it is to paint. It's more about how is our spiritual selves doing. How are we in faith? What are we doing to uplift, to bring together, to actually move in the idea of Christ? That's stewardship. If I was to look at any of our early church fathers, they didn't talk about money. They talked about the faith. How are we embracing our faith? It's funny, isn't it? If we are fully faithful in a way, they say we should never worry about money. The only time we're worried about money is when our faith falls down, because the only thing we have left is money to actually look at and to measure up against. Well, that's the wrong way to look at it, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, we do need faith. And faith is something that comes from within. if you believe in Jesus Christ, the only Son of God, the Creator of everything that is, our faith and our understanding of that faith and our stewardship is going to come from within. How then are we measuring up to that particular understanding? Are we able to say to ourselves, I am a truly faithful person who is looking after the faith? Or am I just throwing cash at it and hoping someone else will look after it for me? Because that's what's happening in most places. We sometimes throw cash at it, and hopefully somebody else will take up the spiritual life. And that's why we have a dwindling community, because our spiritual life is not there. We seem to be pulling away from the very meaning of what it is to be stewards. We see stewardship as something that is like looking at a shepherd looking after his sheep. But if I'm only being paid by the shepherd to look after his sheep, I don't look after it as well as if they were my own. I'll be more concerned about the sheep if they're my own. If I love my sheep, I'm going to look after my sheep because they're mine. But if I pay someone else to look after my sheep, they're not going to look after them as well. They're going to, I'll sustain them, I'll give them food, I'll bring them water, I'll bring them out to the pasture, but if one of them strays off, I'm going to let him go. I'm not going to get myself into trouble because of one of your sheep. That's the difference. Stewardship is about looking after that community, that each and every one of us come together as a community to support it and to keep it going constantly. And that is a tough job. We should come together in prayer, in unity. This is something we're not doing. Not just here, by the way. In most of our Catholic churches, we are not doing the spiritual work. We've got so busy in the other ways of life that we just are not able to give ourselves to our spiritual life. And that's what happens. That's what happens to our young people. If they don't see us with a sense of spirituality, they won't even ever think about it. It's like watering down something. The more oftener that we pull away from our spiritual life, the less we are handing on to our young people. Because what they see, they do. If they don't think of spiritual life as being something important in their life, the reason for that is because their parents and their grandparents do not think the same. Well, then why should I think it? I've heard that so many times with young people. Oh, my mother and my father, they don't go to Mass. My mother and my father, they don't ever go to classes to learn about their faith. No, not at all. Oh, no, that's for you young people. You go, you learn. I'll bring you to the church. But I'm not going to go in to do it. I'll let you do it. And they look at their father and their mother and they say, well, why the hell should I do it? If you don't believe in it, why should I? That's stewardship. And that's what we'll have to try to change. It's not about the ka-chung, even though I'd love to see the ka-chung resolved. But we cannot resolve the ka-chung until we resolve the spiritual self. We'll always be arguing about the ka-chung because our spiritual lives are lacking. There was a great little monk who used to visit our seminary. And he's from the Franciscan of the Renewal. And one day he was talking to us about providence. And it was one of the first times that I've heard the understanding of providence. And he stands up there and he's wearing his habit that he has since he was ordained as a priest. By the way, once you join it, you only get one habit in your lifetime. You have to look after it. You have to keep it, sew it, stitch it, and repair it every time it tears. You are the one who has to look after it. And he says, thank God I'm short. Because when they gave me one, it was longer than me. He said, I had plenty of spares for fear I needed it. He said, that's providence. But he talked about it as one day they were short of sugar. They had no sugar in their house. And all the guys came together and prayed. And they prayed, and the next day they had no sugar either. And they're saying, oh, I don't know if our prayers are really working, guys. Pray harder. And about 2 hours later, a man walks in, drives into the yard, and he opens the boot of his car, and he takes out 25 pounds of sugar. And he says, I think he might need this. He said, that's providence. But providence is part of stewardship. In other words, what he was trying to tell us was, in order for us to get what we need prayer. We need coming together as a community to pray for the things that we need. Not just expect them to happen, or not just to expect that somebody will woo us so much that we will get all this money to do what we need. I do grant that you are a generous people. There is no doubt about that. You are very generous with your time, with your talents, and with your treasures. But I'd like to add a little more to that particular. I'm asking you for more. Not in the sense of the talents and the treasures, but in your spiritual life. If you become more spiritual, if you become more prayerful, if you become in more with Jesus Christ, believe you me, things will change. It will be easier to give because we know why we're giving. It's not because Father Peter stands up here and says, I need money to build a house, or I need money to do an office. We need those items, yes. But first and foremost, we need prayer. And that's something we have to change. That's the stewardship to which we're looking for. It's nice to be able to come to Mass every day. It's an opportunity that we're not taking lightly. Many of us do have the time to come to Mass. Oh, we're too far away, or too early in the morning, or it's too late in the evening, or there's some other problem with it. But Mass is there for you every morning. Without a shadow of a doubt, I'm going to be here. And maybe 3 or 4 minutes late sometimes, but I'll be here. I pray, as the Good Shepherd would do. I pray for all my people. I love my people. I love you. And I don't think pastors say that enough. I love this community. So much so that it pains me to see what's happening within it. Why? I don't know. It's tough. Maybe God has given me this moment in time to tell you this. Yes, I love you. And sometimes when I say things that you may feel hurtful, it's not because I want to make you feel hurt. It's because I want you to know that I love you. Your parents Your grandparents would often spank you when you were young, and it hurt. My mother used to say to me, it's going to hurt me more than it's going to hurt you. I wasn't really quite sure about that one. But yes, it is out of love. I love you with all that God has given me as a priest. I am your shepherd. And to lose one of you is a heartache. To see disunity is a heartache. And it's not something that I can control. So I ask for prayer. That's the stewardship I'm looking for today. The monies will come. I have no doubt about that. I'm not worried about money. I'm more worried about your spiritual lives, your souls. I'm not the guru that you expect. I'm sorry. But I'm the only one that tries to help somewhere along the line. Your soul matters to me. I can't save it for you, as all I can do is guide you to the best of my ability. And sometimes that's not great, because I'm human too. But today I ask you to pray for our community, pray for stewardship, for faithfulness, for love, for charity. Over the last few months, we need it. So pray for it. Don't be afraid to come to Mass every day. In fact, I would love to see you at Mass every day. Wouldn't it be beautiful if I had this crowd every day for Mass? But try to make it. Try to put God first in your life, and then the rest of the day. Believe you me, and I come to Mass, and I do my morning prayer. It's a wonderful day. It changes my day, changes my outlook every day I come to Mass. And so today I ask you to pray. Pray for the love and the stewardship of our parish, that each and every one of us may be united in faith and love for what we are in the face of God. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.